Welcome to another episode of Risk. This is another 6-player fixed card game which is being played on the Lunar Mining Facility map. This is my first time playing on this map, and the settings are alliances, balanced blitz dice rolls and 60 seconds per turn. When I hosted this game I set no minimum rank, meaning that my opponents could be ranked anywhere from novice to grandmaster. But looking to their stats, I would say that they should be relatively low ranked. The blue player wins every third or fourth game he plays on average, the yellow player wins every fourth or fifth game he plays, then the green and white players win every fifth game they play each, and finally the pink player wins every fifth or sixth game he plays. After observing the troops distribution on the board, I came to the conclusion that it would be the easiest for me to capture the drilling plan area, which is going to give me 3 troops if I successfully hold it. Though I forgot where the green player added his troops, he was 1 troop territory away from capturing it, so hopefully he wasn't going for it. But in any case, with me bringing 7 troops army, I don't think he would contest for it with me. And yeah, as you can see, he isn't going for it, so that's very good for me as I will be able to successfully capture it. And as you can see, I've already got 1 ally. The yellow player sent me an alliance request in the beginning of the game, and of course I accepted it. The more players want to be in alliance with me, the better for me, so they will go after other opponents, leaving me alone and letting me get strong. Since I haven't captured my area, I haven't sent the alliance requests for anyone yet. But now with capturing the area, I will start looking for potential players to be allies. The yellow player is obviously in the strongest position right now, who could influence the game the most, so it's extremely good for me that we are allied, and the most importantly that he was the one to send me the alliance request himself, because when people send the alliance request to you themselves, then I assume they will take it more seriously in comparison if you had sent it yourself. But it's just my hypothesis, so what do you guys think on that? And of course, when I say that, I don't have in mind the players who just send the alliance requests for basically everyone. They just mostly want to be neutral, so they won't take your alliance that seriously, though they might not invade you either, so that's still very good. So I'm actually not sure whether the yellow player sent the alliances for everyone or not, because I know that some players sent the alliance request in the beginning of the game to everyone, and the yellow player sent me the alliance request literally from the beginning of the game, though I'm the last player from his opponents, so I assume it would have taken quite longer to get to me after sending the alliance requests to the players going from the top, as at least this is how usually the alliances are being sent for everyone. So maybe he just sent the alliance request to only me. That's possible that he might recognize me from my YouTube channel, or maybe it could be because I'm verified, or maybe of my relatively good stats. Or maybe he just randomly decided to send me an alliance request for no particular reason, but what I'm saying is that was really unusual to get an alliance request by a player in the very start of the game, as we weren't going to contest for the same area or something like that. But I mean, whichever reason it was, I don't really care at all. I'm just saying that it was very unusual, and I'm very happy to have the yellow player as my ally. But then of course I needed some more allies, as with the players capturing areas close to me, I wouldn't like that they would be my enemies or looking forward to attack me, and low-ranked players like to attack a lot, and surprise surprise, this game is being played with a lot of low-ranked players. So first of all, the pink player was the closest of capturing an area next to me, so I sent him the alliance request, and fortunately he accepted it, but then he just so randomly quit the game and the bot took over him, so our alliance was broken. But before that, with the green player capturing an area, I sent an alliance request to him also, since he is one of the players who will be close to me, but he neither declined nor accepted it, and if a low-ranked player doesn't accept your alliance request, then he will most likely be either neutral or negative towards you, but you probably couldn't leave your border unguarded next to him and hope that he doesn't invade you, hope that he will take it as a good diplomacy sign. And alright, I see that the pink player just came back to the game. And I don't really like the players who disconnect just to come back a few turns later. But let's hope that was a genuine disconnection, with the pink player having the internet connection issues for real. but what I have in mind is that there are some players who abuse the disconnections. The real players don't see bots as a real threat, letting them get strong, leaving them alone. So a player can disconnect for some turns on purpose and then come back to the game finding himself in a very strong position, or sometimes even in a winning one. Well, in a 6-player situation it might not happen that way, but when it comes in a 3-player situation, the two real players could end up destroying each other just for the disconnected player come back to the game and wipe out both of the opponents, winning the game easily. So I'm not saying anything, but if the pink player disconnects for another time, then of course we would still have to pay the attention towards him with his bot not letting become very strong. The yellow player suggested me to attack the green player a couple of times, and I was kinda considering it, as on the one side of the map we had me in green and on the other one white and yellow, so one of the players prevailing on his side could possibly start getting the same number of troops as two of the other opponents on the other side combined, but then the pink player came back to the game and also the yellow player is drastically expanding while the white player not so much. So all in all, my and the green player's fight could potentially give a very good advantage to the yellow player. One thing is that there are even 5 players left, so 2 players fighting would make themselves to get eliminated with 3 other players having a decent endgame. While if there were 4 players, the prevailed player could still stay in the game in a 3-player situation, assuming the balance of the game wouldn't be broken. And then another thing is that it seems that the yellow and white players have the alliance with each other, so they would be unlikely to attack each other after me dealing with green. So thank God that the pink player attacked yellow, as with the green player expanding so much, it gives me so much more motivation to attack him. As I think logically thinking, the next green player's expansion aim should be to take over my area, wiping me out from it. He didn't accept my alliance request, so I think the chances of him going after me are big. And if I don't want to accept the faith, then I have to attack him right now before he received those troop bonuses getting even stronger. This map is pretty much isolated, so I couldn't really move out to somewhere far away from the green player getting out of his sight. So with the white player attacking the yellow player into his area as well after the pink player attacking yellow first, it made me completely decide to attack the green player for sure. While the right side is getting taken care of the pink and white players, I will take care of the left side, and all in all no player will get neither too strong nor too weak. The yellow player is my ally, but so far we haven't really done anything together, so he is more like a neutral player for me. And since he was mostly hoarding troops without really attacking other players, I like that he got invaded after getting quite a lot of troops for a few turns. As I assume the yellow player's strategy is similar to mine, stay as neutral as possible, and hoard as many troops as possible too without really getting into a conflict himself, waiting till opponents over-destroy each other. Well, I'm not the yellow player, so I cannot say what his actual strategy and plans look like, but he seems to be more about a passive neutral player who wouldn't get into conflicts foolishly. So if I were yellow, then I think I just wouldn't let the pink player hold an unguarded area, especially when he just was invaded by him, so there were decent chances that the pink player would have gone after him again, and as we saw he did. But as you can see now, the pink player is getting taken care of the green player, so I assume the pink player should leave the yellow player alone and go after green. And alright, that was a very nice attack. The pink player doesn't hesitate crushing his troops at all, so I think I wouldn't be really surprised if he got eliminated first by fighting a bunch of players at once. And actually I would prefer that the pink player would fight the green player over the yellow player, as obviously I would like to take over the green player's lands myself. It would be so awesome to capture that big area, so it's very good for me that the green player is getting weaker, not only because it would potentially let me take over his areas, but at the same time I don't have to deal with the green player myself, which could require a bunch of troops. A few moments ago we were as strong, but now I'm getting significantly stronger than him. While if the pink player had continued crushing yellow, then it wouldn't have really increased my promising position that much. So that's good that the conflict between yellow and pink has been ended. But what is bad is that the white player is getting relatively stronger by taking over these two areas, but if I take over the big area which separates me and the green player, then I think everything should be good. I think I could be even in a better position than white. But before that I think I will let the green and pink players to crush themselves some more. The pink player is really close to getting eliminated, so I think the green player might take him out soon. And then with me expanding I think I will be able to take care of the green player out, eliminating him from the game, and then I assume the white player will want to take over the yellow player's area, wiping him out from it, and with the white player possibly ruining the balance of the game, I would win the game. This is how I want and predict the game going if everything goes right. But yeah, I don't really like that the white player pays the most of attention strengthening his border against me. I thought he will most likely want to go after the yellow player, but it seems I was wrong. Though maybe he just wants to make sure that my army wouldn't be big enough to invade him before him going after yellow. But I mean, whatever the case is, as long as his biggest army next to me stays blocked, I think I should be good. Hopefully the pink player doesn't unleash his army by attacking that white's army. Because of that I was kinda considering taking the pink player out, but at the end I decided not to, as after all I would need to fight green and it would be even harder. But as you can see, the pink player self-destroyed himself on the green player without even touching that territory, so everything went better than expected. But yeah, while at first I was just mostly guessing if the white player is really paying the attention to me, now I think it should be very clear. So I think it's really important to finally capture that area before the white player didn't become even more stronger than me. Well, of course I cannot get into the white player's head, but I think that's very likely. Though there's a possibility that maybe he wants to attack pink and green players, but I don't really think so, because I'm the player who tries to expand and overtake him the troop-wise. And why I think the white player is really focused on me is because he doesn't continue strengthen his border against yellow, putting almost all of the troops on his army close to me. As otherwise if he had continued strengthening his other border too, then I would have guessed that he just simply wants to make both of his borders strongly protected, but now I'm really getting worried about him. And yeah, he is about to invade me, so I will rather crush my army into him first, so to potentially get a good attacker's advantage rather than giving it to him. Of course that wasn't enough to break through his border, but hopefully the yellow player is going to help me. I believe he was sending me a few attack requests to attack white. But yeah, with the yellow player leaving his army blocked, now I'm totally screwed. Well, not totally screwed, but just in a surviving position, being very dependent on what other players will want to do with me. Well, maybe not everything has been lost yet. I sent the attack request to yellow to attack the white player, and myself I will be targeting the green player. The green player is going after me, so I don't want him to get strong either, so while I'm as strong as him I can totally afford invading him into his areas, especially when he leaves them unguarded, so it couldn't be easier. The problem though is that the yellow player might not be able to take care of the white player, with the white player getting those troop bonuses. But alright, after all the yellow player's army wasn't crushed by white. So now if the yellow player successfully crushes white player's army having some troops left and invading him into his areas, then the position among all four of us might get more or less equalized. But yeah, the yellow player didn't try crushing the white player's army, so now he is RebelRed dead. And now also because of that I cannot fight the green player anymore, as by doing so I would be helping the white player dominate the game. So I think now everything might depend on whether the white and green players get into the conflict between each other or not. So I will let the green player hold these areas, so with both them having multiple areas and expanding a lot, they would start being not satisfied with each other anymore and finally start to attacking each other. The yellow player has become so much weaker than the white player, so we cannot put a decent fight against the green and white players anymore. And as much as I would like to help out the yellow player, I don't really think I could, or if still I do that, then I think the game would be given away for green. so I think it's just the best for me to stay neutral, putting my biggest army in a place where it wouldn't be bothering anyone, and hope that the green and white players get into a conflict. I think the yellow player is getting taken out next, so I should end up being in a 3-player situation, so I'm just not sure how much my opponents know about the balance of the game, that by focusing on me, the game wouldn't be given away to any of them very easily. And alright, the yellow player is being taken out by green. I thought that the yellow player will be taken out by white, but I guess that works out also. So now it's just really depends on how smart opponents will be with their attacks. I think the green player really had to invade the white player, as the white player might be really able to guard this area strong, while the green player seems to be very easily invaded. So yeah, I'm not really sure what would be the best to do now. Well, let's just get next to white. I assume the green player should invade the white player into here. But yeah, unfortunately he just rage quit the game, so now I'm doomed to lose this game with the white player being way stronger than me. And that's really sad that the green player quit the game, as we could have really tried making a comeback. Well, let's still try my best and see. Maybe the white player will play the endgame absolutely terribly. Anyways, as you can see, the green player's troops even out with the white player, and I'm still alive with 39 troops, so this position wasn't losing at all, and the green player disconnected definitely too early. But no matter that, let's really congratulate the white player, as he really played this game so good. So he totally deserved this very sweet victory for sure. I think his moves and decisions might have been really the best from all of us 6. I think I could have tried doing everything so differently, but then again, who knows how that would have ended. And alright, now it's the time for the rank reveal. The green, pink and white players were beginners, and the blue and yellow players were intermediates.